Something pretty dark is happening. That's a direct quote from leadership. There's been 9 scientists that are in leading research dealing with the Air Force, dealing with the military, dealing with intelligence, have all come up missing. We're going to talk about that story and how unique it is and where are these scientists going. There's something very peculiar about that. We're going to discuss that and how it kind of pertains to what's going on in our world. Also, we're going to talk about what RFK just did with the hospitals. I'm going to tell you a personal story of us going into the hospital. If you know that my son has type 1, and so we've been in the hospital a little bit more lately than I definitely would ever wish anyone to go into the hospital setting. But we're going to talk about this story and how it impacts people and how this is so very important of what's going on. Also, we're going to talk about the dangers of what's going on with our banking. Again, we briefly talked about it yesterday, but there has been central banks all over the world pulling together, stockpiling gold and other currencies and dumping the dollar. What does this mean for us? Because this is something that we need to pay attention to, because how strong is America? The Senate just developed new laws for CBDC, along with making new ways to invest in crypto and Bitcoin. Are they seeing something on the horizon that they are helping impact by destroying our dollar and putting you on currencies like Bitcoin or cryptos? We're going to discuss that. And then we're going to kind of end with these conversations of how America is breaking down. From big, almost idolish statues going up in our cities to we're allowing for people to come here with birthright citizenship, which is a hot topic today. We're going to talk about what this Chinese billionaire is doing and what he's making sure to infiltrate America the best way and it's the smartest way. And sadly, we're allowing it to happen. It's tragic. We're going to discuss all these stories today. So much to dive into. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. We are humbled each and every day that you come back. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, go check it out. A phenomenal video. It was dramatically held down, all because it spoke truth. So again, I need your help by subscribing to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and sharing our content. It means the world to us. First, let's talk about the situation with these scientists. Listen to this story. Something dark and devious may be going on. 9 top-level scientists die or go missing within the last few months. It says, this was shared by American Greatness, a website. It says, in the span of 9 months, 9 top-level scientists of the United States have died or vanished without a trace. 7 of them were connected to the Air Force Research Laboratory or the institutions directly funding them. This is the one that develops the most sensitive aerospace technologies in the United States defense arsenal. Now, 2 things that happened this week. We see a lot of talk about these extraterrestrial UFOs. I don't believe that that's the capable. I don't believe ET is coming home. That's a falsity. I think that's what they want you to believe, but I think it goes deeper to something like this. We see a lot of technology that has not been spoken of or talked about that our military most likely has, and all of a sudden these people may know more than they should. Also, there's a new story that just came out that stated the U.S. is demonstrating what they call Leonidas. Leonidas is a microwavable weapon that took out 50 drones in one single burst of energy. No missiles, no tracking, just one pulse, and everything falls out of the sky at that range. The drone swarm that was the defining weapon of this war is now going to be at a halt with this new technology. This direct energy lasers, these direct energy microwavable waves, these situations that we're building this heavy technology that is almost mind-blowing. You don't believe that there's something very, very secretive and dark going on when all of a sudden some of the scientists that help build this new technology that's in our air, that's in our space, that's being used for satellite imagery, that's being used for, maybe AI, is now coming up missing. Now, here's what I always say in these kind of cases. I don't believe we have any good people in America or in the world anymore that's actually looking out for their people. I believe that America's doing the best, but I don't actually believe that any of these governments are probably pretty honest. So I think the UFO stories and all these, alien breeding, all that, I think it's all a farce, and I think it's all meant to just manipulate you and propagandize you to stay away from the truth, which means there could be some kind of weaponry or some kind of satellites that are going up that will be part of something bigger. And part of something bigger may be in control elements of you. You can't tell me that we see SpaceX doing an IPO this week, meaning, or next week, basically going public, meaning they're wanting to grow their company. You can't tell me that the fact that AI has got so much momentum of this new consciousness. You can't tell me that Bezos and Gates that are building all this technology to put these kind of satellites in space where they can see 24/7, 365 days a year, every human being on Earth. It may just have something to do with that. Keep an eye on this story with these scientists. It's not about just, again, it's so sad that these scientists are either vanished or have come up, basically lifeless. But here's the thing that you got to pay attention to. How much more is that going to happen? How much more do these people know? You watch these dystopian movies and you hear about all this, and now so many people know about the intelligence of some of this stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, if you ever try to tell somebody, or if I ever have to tell you, then your life will be gone. I kind of feel like that's where we're at. I feel like we're living in these dystopian movies. And sadly, what we're doing is, I think we're seeing the technology and the infrastructure and the convenience and this new wave of innovation may be what actually puts the last nail in the coffin for America when it comes to freedom. Do we really have freedom? That kind of leads me to the story with the CBDC. Listen to this story, because this is going to help me tell you exactly what I bought this week and how personal this story is to me. But this just came out. U.S. senators unveil Mind in America Act, meaning they're trying to reshore all Bitcoin mining, codify more Bitcoin strategic reserves, and trying to find ways to make sure that this U.S. digital asset is housed in America. Now, at the same time, foreign central banks dumped $90 billion in U.S. Treasury since the start of the Iran war. You see the market went up yesterday about 2 or 3%. Gold went up 6 or 7%. We had, I think, silver went up close to 8%. You're seeing the push away from the dollar. And that could be purposeful for the leaders that want to go to crypto or go to some kind of CBDC, which is our Senate, our leaders that we elect. And it could be something like, even though we want to see Trump and all these Republicans stand for us, it may be still more beneficial for them to go to crypto, because ultimately they're heavily invested. So I actually do not like this at all of what's taking place. The issues with the satellites, the aerospace situations, the AI technology, all that has everything to do with this digitized currency that's happening. But you know what it comes down to? Energy. Why do you think we're at war right now? Why do you think Russia and Ukraine are at war right now? Why do you think China is wanting to go in Taiwan? It all deals with access of energy. All the grids, manufacturing and technology around the grid. Every part of every war deals with energy. There's a new report that said that Russia may even join in with helping send Chechen soldiers to Iran. Now, it's just alleged right now, but this is showing signs of a bigger forever war. We just sent our 3rd aircraft carrier to the Middle East when we're hoping to end this. Why are we escalating with another carrier? Now, before we get into this RFK story with healthy foods and how it impacts me personally, and also some of the things that I've been purchasing, let's have a word from today's sponsor, Chapter. Chapter has been with me for over about 18 months now. I did not see their value. I personally didn't, because when they first approached me, it's about Medicare, supplements and Advantage and making sure people have the right plans. I actually didn't think it actually impacted me. They're like, well, your audience may benefit. But then I actually saw how it impacted me because of my family. My dad and mom turned 65 last year and this year. And guess what? There has been a bombardment of people and mailing and calls coming to them about every little supplement policy they need or every little part or coverage they need. And so it was overwhelming. That's where Chapter comes in. If you are 65 and older, or about to be, or have a parent like me that's 65, this may be the best call you make all year because it's going to save you money. The average person who calls chapter saves $1,100 a year. If you go and look at any video, if I'm doing a chapter read, you'll see 3 or 4 testimonials just right there talking about how we've saved $60 a month, $75 a month, $100 a month, $50 a month. I've never had anybody say, well, we just lost money with chapter. No. You gain clarity to know you got the right coverage because they know and they advise all over America to make sure that you're getting the right coverage. They're advising you for $0. Check with Chapter today. Let them help you. Spend 15 minutes on the phone and it may impact you more than you can imagine. 65 and older, imagine you're on a fixed income or a tighter budget. This is the one company that can help you save money each and every month. Check with Chapter today. They will impact you and help you, and it will be very, very positive because you'll get a peace of mind to know that you have the right coverage, but then also save money while doing it. Check with them today. Look at the story with RFK. This is a pretty big deal for me, and I'll tell you why. Again, personal story. I try not to get too personal on this channel, and we have an announcement coming at the end of this video, and we're going to be talking about this next few days. But RFK had a bill passed and a policy passed with him and Dr. Oz stating that they're going to make hospitals serve quality food and foods that are healthier, that while we're in a hospital, probably because of the broken food system and the medicines and because of our bodies failing on us because of maybe what we're placing in them, I think the hospital should be one place that we have healthy food, correct? It says U.S. officials on March 30th informed hospitals that they must provide patients with more nutritious food, and it has to be in compliance with HHS and the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services under Dr. Oz. It says the memorandum is wanting to have better nutritional needs for the patients. Now, the reason I bring this up, I've been to 2 hospitals in the last 6 months, more than I can imagine, and more than I want to count, with my son. I was trying to balance out his type 1, doing some things natural, holistic, doing some with medicines, trying to figure out what's best for him. It's been a hard road. But one thing that's blown my mind is the biggest children's hospital in Mississippi, along with the biggest hospital in Mississippi. They offer 2 fast food restaurants in the hospital, which is kind of stupid. But not only that, the food that they serve you. So my son, type 1, I have to ask for things like eggs and just regular sausage that's not processed. Because we eat holistically, we really don't eat trash food. But they try to give him toast, which is carbs, which is the breakdown of sugar, which he's a diabetic now. That's not good. They tried to give him some kind of juice of some sort that had a lot of sugar in it. And it's not actually juice. Most of it's like this carbonated sugary drink. It's not even real organic juice. And then on top of that, everything else, such as the grits, the oatmeal, everything that they were giving him looked like it was from prison. Then I said, well, let me just walk down to the cafeteria and find some other things that may benefit him. About 50 to 60% of everything in the ready-to-go section was completely processed. And then the food they were cooking was completely garbage food. It looked like a cafeteria in a prison. There was one section that was serving lettuce and had, where you could kind of make your own salad. Now, the reason I bring that up is this. Our food is what is actually helping us to be healthy or to cause us problems. When my son's diet is on par and our supplements are on par, he is doing phenomenal. But when we are, not us, but when we see people lax in that, and we see people eat the fast food, the garbage, and all the other bad foods, it tends to make our bodies unhealthy, which ultimately makes us have to go get doctors help, pharmaceuticals help, and hospitals help. And then all of a sudden our hospitals are trying to feed us fast food and trash processed garbage food. And yet no one's caught this and said this is a bad policy. I've yet to figure out why hospitals can't serve good food. So when this came out, I was overjoyed. Now here's the thing. We have people on the Democratic side that want schools and hospitals to keep serving the same old garbage that they've been serving. Why? Because I imagine there's a lobbyist behind it. But it shows that everybody, including, remember, the 4 biggest lobbyists in America are tied to the healthcare and medical systems of hospitals and pharmaceuticals. Why does that matter? Because our broken food system means we need more of them. This is something that we have to pay attention to. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because it impacts me. It impacts you, our family members. Now, let's go a little bit deeper in this. This week, with this money situation, with the fact that the war is still escalating, with the fact that now Congress is writing in CBDCs hidden in the bills, and they're trying to onshore Bitcoin more, and the fact that we have vulnerabilities when it comes to our treasury bonds, our debt, and also energy. That's a lot going on. We have people like Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson, of course, turning against the president. We have his approval numbers among independents very bad. Against Republicans, great. Against independents, very bad. Of course, Democrats, too. There's a 50% chance that we lose, the Republicans lose the Congress and Senate, and possibly the presidency in 2028 if we don't see some bills passed, some arrests made, and some policies changed. That should be a wake-up call. Not only that, there was a new statue, a new Hindu, basically idol built in Texas, North Texas, this last week. It's one of the biggest compounds and biggest idols across America. We have infiltration. We had a new billionaire that just came out, a Chinese billionaire, a new report on him came out that he has impregnated about 100 to 200 women in an in vitro process and insemination to basically allow them to come here right before they deliver on vacation to then have their babies here in America. All of a sudden they have birthright citizenship. All of a sudden what they do is those Chinese ladies bring their babies back. They get indoctrinated in China and in new policies, and guess what? Their golden initiative is to send all those hundreds and thousands of people that's doing this. They call it vacation, almost like vacationing to have the baby. China has this policy where they give money incentives to do this, so therefore more Chinese nationalists become American citizens. Today the Supreme Court are taking that up. That's a lot going on. A lot going on. This week, here's what I did. Again, I'm a prepper. I bought more supplements and more medication. Supplements, again, I have a son that's type 1. I have 5 other children. And again, my wife and I are aging. And sometimes our food system can't have all the things that we're needing, the nutrients and vitamins. So we bought a lot of extra organic supplements this week. A lot of those deal with blood sugar because of Jennings. We also bought extra meds. Picked up some from Jace Medical, picked up some from Wellness, also picked up some from our local pharmacist that I have a good relationship with. The whole purpose was I want to stockpile this because things are getting tougher in America. I do not want to be caught off guard. So number 2, I also stockpiled cash. Now people are like, well, Kobe, you just said cash is going away. Yeah, but for the point of what I'm saying right now, cash has still got some value and it's still able to be used. The things that I'm wanting to do, I'm not trying to stockpile cash just to hold it. I'm trying to stockpile cash to have a parallel society to be able to buy the things I need while I can without other people knowing it. It's basically a transaction and a mode of exchange from me to that other person very privately, unlike every other aspect of our life that's becoming surveilled. So I stockpiled cash this week. You need to have at least a few weeks, but you need to work up to 3 to 6 months worth of cash or liquidity where you can access it. Number 3, I bought more gold and silver this week. This is one thing that you have to purchase. I know people are like, well, you can't eat gold and silver. That's right. But if you want to hold any asset and hold any value and have any funds through whatever currency and world problems we're going through, gold and silver is it. Now, if we're talking end times and Jesus coming back, then I don't really care about my gold and silver. Because it says biblically it won't matter in the end times. I agree. But for the here right now, until that time happens, gold and silver is very important. Make sure you are picking up some gold and silver the best way you know how. Number 4, alternative energy. Look, I'm going to turn you around. Look, sitting right here. This is new solar panels for a system I just purchased. These systems are not that expensive, especially if you save up a little bit. I do not want to be caught off guard. Do you know, since, again, my son has a medical issue, and because we have to go out of town on certain things, guess what? I have to take alternative energy sources in our vehicles to keep things cold, things hot, medicine safe. You don't realize how valuable alternative energy is, especially when you realize all this escalation of wars deals with energy, like it always has and it always will. Lastly, one thing I think we're missing in America right now, when we talk about the idols, when we talk about the woke right, moving away from God. It's just that. Number 5, I'm praying for revival. I'm praying that people will wake up. We have to wake up. If we don't wake up, we will fall. I bought seeds this week. I'm planting gardens this week. I'm harvesting more meat this week. There's a ton of things that we can do to prep. But what you have to do, first and foremost, is pray. Our nation needs revival. If we don't have revival, you may have reset or revolution. And both of those will end with a lot of harm and hurt for the American people and the world, to be honest with you. Pray for our nation. Pray for our nation. Our Senate is working against our president. The Supreme Court has never, these judges, these little district judges, they have never went against the president like they have for Donald Trump. Things are not getting easier. And right now, we have to really pay attention. It may get tougher. Pick up these few things today. Also, make sure you are aware of all the stories that are going on. We're hearing that they're going to de-escalate this war, and negotiations are happening. I love that. But there was also a deployment yesterday from another third ship, another monster ship, the George W. Bush ship. That means this could be bigger than we think. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.